Hello, welcome to the introduction for the super admin settings. So in the settings is basically where every control happens on the system. Not every though, majority of the control. So to get access to the settings, there are two places you can access this. The first is at the top here. You put your cursor on it and you click on settings and it takes you to the settings. The other option to access it is where you have your name, hover your cursor there and you click on settings and it takes you to the same place. So in this settings, this is where you can do different kinds of settings. So you have the general. Under general, you have all of those options you can set. You have themes where you can set the various themes, the one that best suits your school color or logo. Then you have the module manager. Module manager is basically where updates are sent. We have a lot of engineers working on this. So on a regular basis, updates are sent to the system. So you can either just come here and manually update your system, but I don't think there's a reason for you to come here because we do the update automatically from our end once there's a new feature. So we also have module permission manager. This is where you can always come to give rights and privileges. You can create roles and give access to those roles, things they can do and things they should be able to access. Then you have your user role permission. Here you can set permission for different features. Message permission avatar. I'm going to go more into this as we proceed. Then we have also the notification settings. So here you can set different kinds of notifications on our system. Then last but not the least, we have other settings. So basically these are the various settings we have on the system. I'm going to go into detail in the next video. Thank you very much. Hello, welcome back. So starting with the general, under general we have school settings, which is the first. So most of this you can see under the school settings are already filled by default once you onboard. So this first section, I won't dwell on it, but going further down, you would see profile defaults. So what this means is, if you can read this, this will be used during profile creation. So for instance, let's say the name of your school is Brightside. Okay, I won't change this yet. So let's say I want to add, like, create a teacher's profile. I'm going to just open a new tab and say the name of the teacher is my name, Henry Okafor. If I click on generate, it generates an email for the teacher using the domain, which is this domain in the setting here, which is the school's domain. But if I want to change the domain, for instance, and I change this to brightside.com, and I save this, and I go back to the creation, and I regenerate this email, you can see that the domain automatically changes. So if I'm creating any profile now, be it a parent, a student, or a teacher, once I have entered the name and I generate, automatically it generates an email using the domain that has been entered from the settings here. So basically this is what the domain does basically. And we also have parent default password, staff default password, and student default password. So basically whatever password you put here is going to be the default password for these different roles on the system. So that when the system creates their profile, this is the default password that is going to be mailed to them to log in with. Then you can also see enable forced password change on reset. So you can enforce it that if this is turned off, the system won't mandate them to change their password after they log in for the first time. But if you toggle this on, it's going to be compulsory that they have to change their password from the default password on their first login. So that's basically what everything on the profile default does. Then going further down, you might not need to worry about most of these things here because I'm going to reference back to them later on in this video. Probably not the admin training, probably the teachers, and you won't understand it now, basically, if I dwell on them. So another thing I just want you to pay attention to from the settings is the email notification, this one here. So if this is turned off, so the system normally send automated emails to parents, email notifications to not just parents, to different users. So if you do not want the system to send emails to your users without you initiating them, you can turn off this feature. There are lots of actions that happens on the system that triggers the system to send automated emails to users. For instance, a class teacher marks attendance, the system automatically send mails to parents informing them if their child is absent. um, there are different actions, basically. That's just one case. So if you want those kind of actions, or if the account department raises an invoice, automatically the system dispatches the invoice to the parent via email. So all these are email notifications that are triggered without you initiating it. So if you don't want that, you can turn it off from here. So this basically turns off every email notification on the system. If you want it turned back on, you can always turn it on from here. So another thing you should focus on here is this. So I believe when you logged in as first, when you open on the login page, you saw the background of the login page. You also saw the logo on the login page. So this is where you can always come to change the background picture of your login page and also the logo on the login page. Then this general logo here is the logo you see at the top left of your screen. So anytime you change it and you log out and log back in, you'll notice that the change has taken effect. So this is basically everything under the school settings. So any setting you do here, you always have to ensure that you save the change for you to see the effects of what you've done. So the next thing we have here is the school information. School information is just a read only. So once you're onboarded, these are just information that the system needs. So you don't need to do anything here. It's just information about the school. Then we have module reorder. So the module reorder is basically reordering these modules here. So based on the one you use most frequently, say for instance, I would want these teachers to be at the top instead of here. So there are some things I won't want to always look for at the side menu. I just want to bring them up. So to do that from this module reorder, if I want to move teachers up, I can just select. So this table is currently showing just the first 10 record. I can increase this to 100 and it shows everything. I can just reduce it to back to 10. So to bring these teachers up, I'm just going to click on this reorder, select the row I want to move and click on the up arrow. So I'm just going to bring it to the second place. Once I'm done, I'm going to click on save. And this is done. But it doesn't take effect till I log out and log back in. So I'm just going to log out. And I'm going to log back in to the platform. So you can notice now that that module teacher is now on the second on the second is now second on this list. So going back to the settings, we so I believe it's quite straightforward what the module reorder does. So the next thing we have here is the password reset manager. Okay, there's something I need to show you. So password reset manager, you might choose to use it or you might choose not to. So password reset manager might be probably for students. So students that might not have a real email address as their email. If they forget their password, they can just request for a password change. But you know, when they request for a password change, the email they used to log in might not be a real email. It might just be generated by the system. So you can make it in such a way that once they request a password reset, it comes here and the admin is notified, and the admin can come here to make those changes for the students. So these are for students that don't have a have a real email. They have like dummy mails. So, but if they use a real email, what you can do is still on the school settings and still here. Sorry, hold on. Where is it? So yeah, this is it. Enable student password. Enable student password reset email. So if this is unlocked, it means that it means that probably in your school, the student emails are dummy emails, they're not real emails. So if you unlock it, if it's locked, it means that once student requests for password reset, automatically it comes to the password reset manager. But if the emails are real emails, then you need to unlock this so that once student requests for password reset, automatically the reset request goes to their email address. So that is basically what this does. So if this is how it works, depending on how it works in your school, you either leave this locked or you leave it unlocked. But remember, any adjustments you do here, you always have to save for it to take effect. So that is basically what the password reset manager does. Then we also have student name reorder. So the student name reorder, if there's a pattern your student name shows up, be it on the school reports or wherever on the system you want the name to show in that order, you can always come here to set the order. So if it's surname first, followed by first name, then order name, fine. If not, click on reorder and you can always move these parts around depending on how it should be. So whatever order you set here, that's the order the system follows. So the same thing also applies to the staff name reorder. Then you also have the reg number pattern. So when you're creating a student, the same way you can generate email, you can also generate the reg number. So I can set who am I can select the school I want to set this reg number pattern for. Once I select the school, then I can now set the pattern for the reg number. So depending on how your pattern is, I can add as many patterns. Say you have separator, you put the symbol you want as your separator. You can add alphanumeric. You can add date format, serial number, the school academic session. So there are different ways you can do that. So as you add them, it's going to generate the reg number based on the order in which you've added them. So that's how this part works. Then we also have staff ID pattern, basically the same thing. Then email pattern. Email pattern. So this is where you can set the pattern in which you want the staff email to be generated. So I can just delete everything here currently, and if I click on add a pattern, so the first one I'll say is it should start with the surname, and the surname should be in full. I'm going to add, and the next is it should pick the first name, and the first name should be the initial, and probably the other name also initial, and that is it. So you can see the preview just like this. But if I want probably the first name to be in full, I can just click on add pattern, first name to be in full, and other name to be, or I can just ignore other names, so it's just going to be like this. But if I add other name to be initial, so you're going to see an email generation just like this. So this is basically how you generate staff email. You set the pattern in which the email should be generated. So the same thing also applies to generating student email pattern. So that is everything here. Then the next is the student document. So student document is basically if there is any document you want parents of students to generate, sorry, not generate, to provide to the school. This is where the admin can come to create the category. and this information will be available in the parent end. So all they can do is they can say, okay, the school requires birth certificate. They upload a document on the birth certificate. Requires the international passport data page. They upload it. So you can delete everything here and create yours. You give it the name and request for admission process. So this one is, do you want it to be part of your admission process or not? If not, just say no. Is this required? Yes or no? And the status, active, inactive. So active means this would show up on the parents page. So I can, instead of deleting this, I can just make it inactive. Basically, if I toggle it off, it's going to be inactive, meaning it's still here, but it won't be showing on the parent page that they should provide that document. So that's basically what this is. So here is basically where you come to create documents that you require parents to provide to the school for their child. Then for this last two, entrance exam subject, you won't need this part because this part will be explained more during the admissions training. And the admission training, it's also replicated in the module for the admission, so you won't be needing it from the settings anymore. The same thing also applies to the campus, is also not needed for this training. So this is basically in a nutshell everything we have under the general settings. See you on the next video where we talk about the themes. Thank you very much. Welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to be talking more about the themes and also the module manager. Starting with the themes. So the themes is where you can come to select a theme that suits your school's color or anything close to your school logo. So for instance, if I activate this purple theme, you see how automatically it changes the color, and I can activate any of the themes I have here. Anywhere you see install, it means that the theme has not been installed before. So I can install a theme. Once it's done installing, I can now activate it. So you just basically pick any theme close to what you want from this preset themes here. So once you've done that, then you're good to go. It's quite straightforward. Then moving to the module manager. So the module manager, basically, you won't have any reason to come here, but here is where you can see all our active modules. So if you want to ask, what do we call modules? We call everything you see here, like CBT, parent, lesson planner, finance. All of these are called modules. Then sub modules are what you find under a module. So under parent module, if I click on it, I can see the sub module called add parent and another sub module called manage parent. So basically everything you see here are modules. So here is where you can see all the modules, all active modules you have on your system. Then update available. If there's any update pushed by our engineers, we have lots of engineers working on this platform 24/7. So once they push updates, you can see it here and update, but there won't be any reason for you to come here to update your platform by yourself, because we've pushed a new update that any update being and done automatically is updated from the back end. So as an admin, you won't have any reason to visit this module manager. So that is it for this video. See you in the next one. Thank you very much. Welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the module permission manager. So the module permission manager is basically where the super admin can come and create different roles on the platform. So you're not just creating the roles, you're giving the permission and privilege to those roles. So what can those roles do on the system? So this is where you come to create it. So clicking on this, you're going to see first, select user role. So already by default, you're going to see already some preset roles on the system. I think it ends from admin up to deputy head. These other ones are roles that has been created by the users. So by default, you see this preset role from admin all the way to deputy head. So if I want to create my own role or edit an existing role, I can just select, say for instance, I can select principal. And if I scroll down, I can see all the modules. Remember, I explained what modules are on the previous video. So I can see the modules and also the submodules. So you can give either someone access to the entire module or just a subset of the module, which is the submodule. So this is where, so this principal role now has been given access to view teachers, has also been given access to the HR manager to view reports, process reports. You understand? So this is basically giving permission to this particular role. So once you're done giving permission of what this person should have access to, if I log into any users, to any of the user on the system that is given access to this principal role, the only thing I'm going to see on their dashboard are things related to what the super admin has given them access to. So they won't see anything they don't have access to here, basically. So if I want to add a new row, for instance, all I need to do is come to add row. I'll click on add row and I can now give that row a name. Say the row I want to add is or do I do just a test row for now? Test row, that's the name of the row, and attached dashboard. So for the attached dashboard, the attached dashboard has the admin, teacher, and manager. So the teacher is basically for teachers. So the two we are focusing more on here is the admin and the manager. So as an admin, if you're creating any row, always give that row the manager dashboard. So the difference is anyone you give the manager dashboard won't have access to settings. Remember, settings is where you can have access to do all of these changes to the system. So anybody that has both teacher and manager dashboard does not have access to these settings. But people that have access to admin, that you give the admin dashboard, would have access to settings on their platform. So that is the major difference. Then the next, you have switch role and manage user. If this is turned on, and I give a teacher as and I give an admin staff access to say view teachers. Let me show you a practical example of this. If I come to view teachers, you can see aside from seeing the teacher's information, I can also see all of this edit, deactivate, delete, and I can also click on detail for this particular teacher, and it's going to show me option to just log in as this teacher. So I don't need to know this teacher's login details to log in as her. And I can also delete, deactivate, and edit her information. So if I give a particular row, if I put this on and I go ahead and give this row access to view teachers, aside from viewing the teachers, they will also be able to edit, delete, log in into that teacher's account and do whatever they want on that teacher's profile. But if I do not want that, I'm going to turn this off. If I turn this off and still give them access to view teachers, what they are going to see is they are going to see what you can see here, but they won't see edit, deactivate, or delete. The only thing they are going to see here is details. And even if they click on this detail, they won't see the option to log in as this teacher. They won't see this edit, delete, and deactivate. They're only going to see the read-only info. So they can't do anything to edit the profile or log into the teacher's profile. So basically, that is what the switch row and manage user does. So if I give you access to a particular list, be it the parent list, teacher's list, or student list, it means do I want you to be able to just do read only on that list or to be able to make changes on that list. That's basically what this does. Then disable dashboard analytics. If this is enabled, it means that I want to disable the dashboard analytics. Dashboard analytics means if I come to the dashboard, this information I see here, all of this from here all the way down here, is going to be disabled. So once you disable it, it means the person's dashboard basically starts from here, which is the news feed. So once I disable this dashboard analytics, that's turning this on disables it. Once this is on, it means that person dashboard starts from starts from here, are no longer, you won't see all of this analytics. So that's what this means. So these are just the settings you do when creating the role. So once I'm done and I click on save, I have created this role, and all I'm doing is giving access to what this person should have access to. By default, there's nothing indicated here. If I want this person to have access to teachers, if I click on teachers, this is me giving the person access to everything under teachers. If I don't want to, I can just click on the drop down, or I can just untick it and give the person access to just the things, the sub modules I want this person to have access to. So this is basically how this works. If I want to go back to that view I was when creating the role, currently test row is selected. I'm just going to come here and click on edit row, and I can always make changes and just update. If I want to make changes to existing role that's been created before, say principal, I'll select the role and click on edit and make the changes. So basically, this is what you do in the module permission manager. I hope this helps. See you in the next video where I explain the user role permissions. Thank you very much. So user role permission. Under the user role permissions, we have the message permission. So for message permission, this is where you set who should be able to message who. So the message I'm talking about here is the direct message. So this chat icon you see up here. So who should have the permission to message who? If I want to create a new chat, if I click on this, you're going to see the different roles I have permission. This is the admin. So all these roles are the people I have permission to initiate a chat with. If I select students, I have access to all students. I can search for who I want and initiate a direct chat with that student. So that is what the message permission is. So if I want to set the message permission here for admin, I have given admin access to initiate a direct message with all of these roles here. If I select, for instance, students, currently students are not given permission to initiate a chat with anyone, but if I want to give them permission, I can say I want students to be able to chat with probably their teachers. I'm going to select teacher. I can say I want them to be able to chat with the admin. I can select admin and just click on save settings. So it means when a student goes to their chat, they can initiate a chat with these people here. That is what that just means. If they don't have access, they can initiate chats with these roles here. So you can just select different roles and select who those roles can initiate a chat with. So that is what the message permission does. Next is the avatar permission. Avatar permission is simply who should be able to change their profile pictures. So let me show you that once more from here. So everybody can come to their profile, and under profile, they have all of this where they can change avatar. So if I don't give your role permission to change your avatar, you won't be able to change your avatar. So you do that from this settings, avatar permission. So it means everybody here, I have given them access to be able to change their profile picture, but except for the students. If I want students to be able to change, all I need to do is click on their name and they come here and I save. So this way students can change their profile picture, but most schools don't want students to change the official pictures that they've put in for them. So they always remove students from this list and save. So that's what the avatar permission does. So next we have the newsfeed permission. Newsfeed permission is basically when I post on the newsfeed, who should see it? In case we don't know what the newsfeed is, I'm just going to show you that quickly. So from the dashboard, this here is the newsfeed. All this content is where you can post content, pictures, videos, and everything. So going back to this newsfeed permission, for admin now, if I select admin role, who can, when admin post on the newsfeed, who are the people expected to see the content admin post? So those are the roles you select here. If I want the vice principal to also see it, I'm just going to add the vice principal to the list and save. So everybody in this selected row are the people that sees the content admin post. If I go to the news feed now and click on this arrow by the side of publish, you're going to see these are the rows assigned that when admin posts, we'll be able to see what's admin posted. So that's what newsfeed permission does. So coming back here, I can say when a teacher posts, who sees it? The only people approved there are teachers and students. If I want parent to also see it, I can add parent and save. So I believe you understand what this does. The next is direct post permission. So for direct post permission, if you read here, select rows capable of making newsfeed posts. So the fact that I gave you, you've given access for people to make post and select the people that will see when they make the post. Direct post permission gives access to who can make posts directly without it going through any approval process. So currently, if there's no one selected in this row, meaning anybody that makes post on the newsfeed, the super admin would have to approve it before it shows up, including the super admin. But if I add this now, if I add admin and maybe principal and save, it means that when a principal makes a post on this newsfeed and publishes it, automatically it goes to whoever it needs to go to. It doesn't need to come to the super admin for approval. Where the super admin approves it is under the newsfeed manager. So this is newsfeed, manage newsfeed. So when posts are made, the admin receives notification, and from here you see what the person posted. You can either approve or reject it. If I click on publish, it means I'm just going to publish it. If I click on reject, it means I'm rejecting this post and I can just delete this post. So people that don't have access, people that are not under this selected row, under direct post permission, can't, when they make post on the newsfeed, it goes to the admin for approval. But the rows you see here or that you add here, once they make post on the newsfeed, automatically it goes to whoever it's supposed to go to. So that's what the direct post permission does. Next is the birthday permission. So for the birthday permission, what it means is who can see whose birthday. So if I come to the news, to the dashboard, we have upcoming birthdays. So you can see this is an admin account and I can see students' upcoming birthdays. So what going back here under birthday permission, if I select a row admin, you need to now select who are the people that should see admin birthdays. So everybody here now are the people that are going to see admin birthdays and the upcoming birthdays when it's time. So if I select student, for instance, who are the people that should see student upcoming birthdays? Everybody you put in these selected rows are the people that are going to see the upcoming birthdays for students. So this is basically how you set who can see whose upcoming birthdays. I believe you understand this. Then the last one here is full name, email, gender, and phone number permission. What this means is, if you can see up here, it says select roles to give permission to change their full name, email, gender, and phone number. So people you put in this part, selected row, it means you're giving them permission to be able to change their basic information. So the same way, if I come to this place and come to my profile, it means you can see all of this are editable. Email, first name, last name, gender. I can edit all of this information. And this is because here admin is on this list. It means admin can edit their information themselves. Teachers to everybody here you put here can edit their information. Students can't, but if I put it here, if I put this row here, they'll be able to also. So anybody here can edit their basic information. But if I remove you from this list, you won't be able to edit your basic information. So this is basically everything on the user role permission. See you in the next video. Thank you. Notifications. So under notifications, we have all of those options. So we're just going to start with email notification. So under email notification settings, This is where you can turn off individual email notifications. So remember when I was showing you the notification off button under the general setting, I'll quickly go there. So here you have email notification. If I turn this off, remember I said this means turning off all form of email notification, automated email notification. But if I don't want to turn off every single thing, I can turn this on and come to notifications under email notifications and turn off the ones I do not want. So we have individual email notification settings here. So probably your parents are complaining, we get a whole lot of email on class attendance, and you just want to turn off the email notification for class attendance. You just come here and turn this off. So we have other notifications here, newsfeed, new chats, all of this one. So you can individually turn off the email notifications for these different automated actions. We also have SMS notifications. So here you can choose to turn off or on individual actions for the SMS. Notify on invoice publish, notify on invoice paid, notify on new user. So you can either turn this on or off. So we also have birthday notification settings. So if you want the system to automatically send out birthday messages to your users, you can enable this birthday notification. So if you also want the system to send SMS, you can turn on the SMS on or off. You also have what time do you want the system to send out this birthday message. So you set the time here. You set here is for the SMS. Here is for the text, that's the email. So the if this is turned on, you set the SMS notification here. For the birthday text, email text message, you set the email text message here. You have all of these placeholders to help you personalize the messages you want to compose. So we have all of this here. Then if you want, once you're done, you can just save the changes. Then we also have work anniversary notification settings. So if you want this as well to congratulate your staff on their work anniversary, you can always turn this on. So you have the same thing, notifying by SMS, setting the time you want them to get it, and this for email notification, set the message with the placeholders and just save. It's quite straightforward. For the anniversary, it works with the HR manager, so we'll go deep into it during the HR manager video. So the last here but not the least, we have WhatsApp notification. So basically, you can turn on or off different WhatsApp settings. If you want the system not to send notifications, WhatsApp notifications for some actions, you can either turn it on or off here. Basically, once you're done, just save the changes. So this is everything under notifications. Then the final one we have here is under other settings. Other settings, we have inbox mail setting. Inbox mail setting is basically where you can just set the content you see at the footer of your email. So when you use our system to send out mails, this is where you can set the default color you want. You set the footer, the email that should show on the footer, the website that shows on the footer. And if you don't want our logo to show on your email, you can turn it off, and you can also turn it on from here. Then we have parent resource download. So this is where you want on the parent view, they have a place where they can download resources. If there's any resource you want parent to have access to, this is where you come to upload those resources. Okay, I'm just going to show you a quick view of where parents are going to see whatever you upload here. Let me just show you that quickly. So this is what a parent view looks like, and you'll see under available download, you can see the school policy that was uploaded from the admin, which I showed you earlier. So coming here, this is the school policy. So you can always add as many resources as you want. I can create a new one, call it whatever I want, and upload the documents for that resource, and that will be it. So once you're done, you just save, and automatically it appears from the parent end. So that's what you do on the parent resource download. Then you also have the parent mobile app. So this is where you can always put the URL. So this is done automatically though, so you don't need to worry much about this part. So this concludes everything we have under the school settings from the super admin. Thank you very much.